There are secrets that lie not hidden in ancient tomes, nor in dusty scrolls locked away under key. Some secrets dwell within your own body, and one such secret resides at the very center of your being, in that small vortex of skin, that almost invisible circle we so often overlook in the mirror. It is no mere biological accident, no simple scar of birth. It is a remnant of something sacred, a portal, an energetic antenna, a forgotten threshold. In ancient times, many cultures knew that the navel was the first center of power. Through it, we received life, but through it, we may also lose it. The human body, wise in its design, retains this opening as a reminder. Here it all began. Here your energy still flows. What most fail to perceive is that through this very point, your vital force can escape. Yes, as if you left a crack ajar through which the purest essence of your being spills out. The inexplicable fatigue, the lack of focus, the sensation of being empty or drained after certain encounters, these may not come from without, but from a subtle leak right at your center. Now consider this. What would happen if you chose to seal this point? What would unfold if you covered it? Not out of modesty, but out of power. What if this simple act were the key to retaining your energy, amplifying your intuition, and rekindling the inner fire you once felt, now seemingly asleep? This message is an invitation to remember, to look anew at your body, not as a mere collection of organs, but as a sacred map replete with forgotten portals and symbols. We shall explore the esoteric wisdom of the navel, its energetic role, and why so many ancient cultures regarded it as a spiritual center. I will show you how covering it with intention, with purpose, can spark profound shifts in your auric field, your focus, your dreams, and even the way you connect with others. Remember this. The mystical does not always reside in the complex. Sometimes the greatest awakening begins with a small gesture, a patch, a touch, an intention upon your navel, and all your energy begins to return to you. So breathe, gaze upon your center, and prepare to rediscover what has always been there waiting to be activated. Long before modern medicine reduced it to a mere umbilical scar, the navel was revered as a symbol of origin, power, and sacred connection. In manifold ancient cultures, this bodily center was not merely a relic of physical birth, but the visible echo of an invisible bond, an energetic cord that is never fully severed. Through it flows and still flows a current of subtle information and energy. In the Vedic traditions of India, the navel was known as Navi, deemed a fundamental point of the subtle body. In the system of chakras, it lies near the third chakra, Manipura, the seat of inner fire, will, and personal power. Yet beyond the well-known chakras, certain tantric lineages spoke of a secret chakra, the Vindu inferior, housed directly at the navel's core. It was said that one who mastered this point could awaken a balance between the physical and spiritual worlds, for the navel is the equilibrium between what nourishes and what is given forth. In Chinese Taoism, the navel is intimately tied to the Dantian inferior, the body's energetic center of gravity. Taoist sages knew that here resided an invisible cauldron where internal alchemy was kindled. It was not uncommon for practitioners of Qigong and Naden to focus their attention, warmth, or even physical pressure upon the navel to conserve qi, the vital energy, and prevent its dispersion. In the Mesoamerican cultures, particularly among the Mexica and Maya, the navel was likewise a symbol of cosmic centrality. The Nahuatl term Yolo, meaning heart or center, was energetically linked to the solar plexus and the navel, seen as a point of intersection between worlds, the material plane and the invisible realms. The iconic four-petaled flower, representing the universe's center in Aztec codices, could be interpreted as a reflection of the human navel, the heart of the microcosm. Even in the more esoteric Judeo-Christian traditions, The human body was described as a temple. If the heart was the altar, the navel was the point of entry. The Song of Songs, a deeply symbolic text from the Old Testament, speaks of the navel as a rounded goblet that never lacks wine, a metaphor for the power that flows from within. Across time, these teachings were overshadowed, veiled, or dismissed by rationalist and materialist discourses. The body came to be seen as a machine, the navel reduced to a forgotten button in the midst of the abdomen. Yet spiritual traditions knew what science has yet to dare explore. This small indentation is the mark of our connection to the all, an energetic port that, if left open and unprotected, can become a conduit for energy loss. Ponder this for a moment. The only point in your body that was literally your lifeline before you drew your first breath. Why should it lose its function once the physical cord is cut? What is severed physically remains spiritually. What is forgotten is not deactivated. Today, many feel fatigue, mental fog, or causeless anxiety, seeking external reasons while overlooking the subtle loss of energy. An unguarded navel acts as an open door to the environment. Every emotion, every glance, every foreign vibration that touches you may enter or exit through it. This is why ancient cultures taught to cover, seal, or guard the navel, especially during rituals, in public spaces, during meditation, or while sleeping, not out of superstition, but from profound energetic wisdom. And now that you too know this, what will you do with this portal? The navel, though ignored by the daily gaze, is a point of convergence where vital energy organizes, concentrates, and projects. It is, metaphorically, the invisible eye of a sacred lock. It has no eyelids, it does not close on its own. And if we do not seal it consciously, it becomes an open valve. Through it, information enters, but power also escapes. Imagine your body as a chalice, a sacred vessel holding the finest oil, your essence. If that chalice has a small crack at its base, no matter how much you fill it, it will never be full. The navel is that base, and that crack is the lack of awareness of its role. Throughout the day, we interact with dozens of people, absorbing environments laden with noise, haste, and foreign intentions. All of this impacts our subtle field. But what few know is that the navel acts as a center of absorption and emission. Without a filter, especially sensitive to intense emotions, invasive glances, or charged words. From this perspective, it is not about shielding yourself out of fear, but sealing with wisdom, just as we close a door to preserve warmth in a home during winter. Sealing the navel helps maintain our internal energetic temperature, preventing our vital reserves from dissipating unnoticed. Here enters an ancestral practice, surviving as a whisper among healers, yogis, and keepers of hidden lineages, covering the navel with a small disc, cloth, or even a finger, intentionally, during key moments. This is not superstition, it is spiritual science, the alchemy of the body. This seemingly simple act triggers a cascade within your energetic system. The body, sensing the seal, redirects its flow, like a river that finds containment and deepens its course instead of overflowing. What once leaked now condenses. What was lost now refines. There is also a direct connection between the navel and the enteric nervous system, often called the second brain, located in the abdomen. This system, tied to the solar plexus, governs not only digestive functions, but also intuitive perceptions. Have you not felt a hollow in your stomach before something your mind could not yet grasp, or an expansion in your belly during moments of gratitude or connection? When the navel is sealed consciously, the bioelectric field of the abdomen strengthens, and with it, emotional clarity, intuition, and the energy available for action. It is as if, by closing that door, all your inner lights begin to shine more brightly. Moreover, some tantric practitioners hold that the navel is a miniature mirror of the cosmos. According to them, It is a micro-chakra that connects to higher planes through an invisible cord, a thread of light that still links the soul to its origin. Each time you touch or cover it with intention, that thread activates as if you dialed a secret number on a cosmic telephone. And what happens then? What many describe but cannot explain: a sense of presence, of inner calm, of something clicking into place. Others report lucid dreams, sudden clarity, or a return to themselves after days of confusion. All this begins with a single gesture, giving attention to that forgotten point that has always been there, waiting to be remembered. In the moment you choose to cover your navel with awareness, you are not merely covering skin. You are activating an ancient alchemical mechanism that transforms your inner being. It is as if a key turns in a forgotten portal, and you begin to hear what has always been there. In the most ancient esoteric teachings, it was taught that the human body is a living replica of the universe, a perfect microcosm. In that sacred map, the navel is not only the physical center of the body, but also its primordial energetic anchor, an epicenter through which vital currents flow. It is here that the inner fire can be kindled or extinguished. When you leave this point unguarded, the outer world gains free access to your energetic field. It is like living with the door of your house ajar. Any emotional current, foreign vibration, or collective thought can slip through and disrupt your inner harmony. The body then becomes like a radio poorly tuned, picking up static, distortion, spiritual noise. But when you begin to cover that center, whether with cloth, a small flat quartz, or the simple pressure of your hand during your practices, you are creating a sacred container, a chalice, where your energy begins to concentrate. This act triggers a series of adjustments in the subtle system. First, the auric field densifies. Your aura becomes more compact, more stable, as if invisible cracks through which your energy leaked are sealed. This reinforced field protects your nervous system from external interference and amplifies your capacity for focus, intuition, and personal magnetism. Second, the energy that once dispersed outward begins to circulate upward in an ascending spiral through the spine. This energy, instead of dissipating, is channeled, becoming what many traditions have called the sacred oil, the dew of the soul, or even the milk of the gods. The cerebrospinal fluid, from an alchemical perspective, represents this inner nectar that rises when all is aligned. This upward movement activates other key glands: the thymus, the thyroid, the pineal. The pineal gland, considered the seat of the soul in many mystical traditions, begins to receive purer signals. It is as if by sealing the root, the soul's antenna can rise with greater clarity toward the higher planes. And here is where the inexplicable occurs. Some report experiences of absolute clarity, others inner visions, lucid dreams, or a profound sense of peace. This is not fantasy, but a vibrational realignment, a reorientation of the inner axis of being. Moreover, this gesture produces a powerful effect on the emotional plane: self-containment. You learn to hold your energy, to not give it away, to not drain it in relationships or situations that exist only out of habit. Your field becomes magnetic, not by force, but by authenticity. What once escaped now transforms into presence. The sealed navel becomes a physical reminder of the sacred boundary, a silent gesture that declares, "Here begins my temple, here begins my magic." With time, this consistent practice allows the body to enter a state of harmonic resonance. You become more receptive to your own needs, more discerning about what you allow to enter. It is like tuning a forgotten instrument. And when the body vibrates at its true note, reality responds. It is not enough to know that the navel is an energetic portal. The true power is activated when you integrate it into your daily life with simple, consistent, and conscious acts. Esoteric wisdom is not meant to remain locked in books or distant rituals, but to illuminate your everyday existence. In this case, the first step is to begin treating the navel not as just another part of the body, but as the sacred center it is. 1. Seal your center. Each morning before stepping into the world, just as you clothe your body to protect it physically, cover your navel to protect your energetic body. You can use a small piece of cloth tape, hypoallergenic adhesive, or even a soft patch with an intentional design, a solar symbol, a spiral, or a flower of life. The key lies in the intention. As you do this, say silently to yourself, "With this seal, I preserve my energy. What I am belongs to me." This small morning act will serve as an invisible shield in dense places, crowded spaces, or interactions where you often feel drained. 2. Practice manual connection for a few minutes each day, especially in moments of stress or before sleep. Place your palm over your navel and breathe deeply. Imagine a golden light projecting from your hand, entering through the navel and expanding inward. This practice not only calms the nervous system but also reconnects you to your center, serving as an anchor when everything around you seems to spin. Return there. 3. Use energetic oils or ointments. Some traditions apply essential oils like frankincense, myrrh, palo santo, or lavender with a single drop on the navel. These act as activators of cellular memory for the navel, as an ancient channel of nourishment responds keenly to subtle substances. Try this before spiritual practices, meditation, or when you need to reclaim inner strength. 4. Observe your emotions when you seal it. Many report a notable emotional transformation upon beginning this practice. Do not be surprised if covering the navel brings greater clarity, strength, or even the surfacing of buried emotions. The seal not only preserves energy, but also prevents old emotional patterns from entering as before. It is an exercise in inner sovereignty. 5. Share this practice with others, with respect. If you notice tangible changes in your energy, focus, or emotional state after a few days of this practice, do not hesitate to share it. But do so through example, not imposition. Magic is not forced. It is contagious through authenticity. When others ask why you seem more centered, more at peace, or radiant with light, that is the perfect moment to explain that it all began with something as small as covering the navel. In essence, these practices require neither blind faith nor grand ceremonies, only presence, coherence, and consistency. The body responds when it is heard, and your energy, like an intelligent river, flows better when it knows its channel is protected. In a world that constantly pulls us outward, towards screens, noise, haste, and stimuli, speaking of the navel as a portal of power may seem at first glance an eccentric idea, but when you look with deeper eyes, you understand that it is not merely a physical center but a symbol of return to yourself, to the core from which your life arose. The navel is the physical testament of your first bond with existence. Before you took your first breath, before you opened your eyes to the world, you were sustained by an invisible cord that nourished you with all you needed. That cord was cut at birth, yes, but its energetic imprint remains. And like all portals, it lingers, waiting for you to recognize it. To cover it, to seal it, to activate it, is not superstition. It is a subtle declaration of spiritual sovereignty. It is to say to the universe, I recognize my center, I reclaim my energy, I gather my power. And when you do this, not only do you transform, but the world around you shifts, for your vibration changes. Perhaps you have felt more than once that something in you slips away, that you feel drained, that by day's end you are empty without apparent reason. Perhaps it is not physical fatigue, but an invisible energetic leak, a loss occurring silently from a point you never considered. And now you know. Now you can seal that leak, close that threshold, and transform it into an altar. For the navel is not merely a scar, it is a dormant seal of forgotten magic. When you honor it, when you protect it, when you listen to it, something in you remembers. It remembers your power. It remembers your connection to the all. It remembers that you were born whole, with a sacred map inscribed in your body. Today, I invite you to cease seeking outside what already lives within. Experiment with this practice with an open mind and a willing heart. You need not overhaul your entire life at once. Simply place attention on that small center each day for a few minutes and observe how everything begins to shift, as if a secret wheel begins to turn. Remember, the most powerful portals open not outward but inward, and your navel is one of them. If this knowledge resonates with you, if you felt some part of you awaken or recall something ancient, I invite you to delve deeper. Subscribe to the channel, activate the notification bell to not miss the next revelations, and share this message with those you know are ready to remember who they are. Give a like if this wisdom touched you, and let me know in the comments. Have you ever felt energy in your navel? Are you ready to seal your center and let your magic emerge? We shall meet again on the next journey, where the invisible becomes visible.